Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I didn't think I was asking for much. Just her hand in mine. Just her sitting beside the hospital bed while the nurse checked my vitals and the surgeon reviewed the chart. I wasn't afraid of the surgery itself. I was afraid of waking up alone if something went wrong. My name is Daniel. I'm 38. I've always been a steady one. The guy who shows up, fixes problems, keeps things calm. I never imagined I'd feel this exposed over something as simple as needing the woman I loved. I met Claire 3 years ago at a friend's barbecue in Bristol. She laughed easily, talked fast, and had this way of looking at you like you were the only person in the room. She told me early on that she had a past. An ex named Ryan. Long relationship. Complicated ending. I didn't push. Everyone has history. I figured what mattered was who she chose now. And she chose me. Or at least, that's what I believed. Our relationship wasn't dramatic. No shouting matches. No cheating scandals. It was built on routines. Coffee in the mornings. Long walks after dinner. Lazy Sundays with music playing low. I supported her through a job change. She supported me when my father passed. We talked about the future in vague but hopeful ways. Moving in together. Maybe buying a place. I felt safe with her. That mattered more to me than passion or chaos. Then 6 months ago, I was diagnosed with a heart condition. Nothing immediately fatal, the doctor said, but serious enough to need surgery. Scheduled, controlled, still terrifying in a quiet, adult way. I told Claire the same day. She hugged me, told me everything would be fine, promised she'd be there. I didn't ask for promises. She offered them freely. As the surgery date got closer, I noticed changes. She was more distracted, on her phone more often, stepping outside to take calls. When I asked if everything was okay, she said work was stressful. I believed her. Or maybe I wanted to. I didn't have the energy to question her when my own body felt like it was betraying me. The night before my surgery, we were sitting on the sofa. The TV was on, but neither of us was watching. I asked if she'd be at the hospital early with me. She hesitated. Just a second. Barely noticeable. But it landed hard. She said she'd try. Try. That word stuck in my chest. I didn't press her. I didn't want to seem needy. I just nodded and said, okay. I barely slept that night. My mind kept looping through worst-case scenarios. Not death exactly. Just loss. Waking up groggy, reaching for her and feeling empty space. At 6 a.m, I texted her. Told her I was heading in. She replied 20 minutes later. Something had come up. She'd explain later. My stomach dropped, but I told myself not to jump to conclusions. At the hospital, the smell of antiseptic felt sharper than usual. The nurse was kind. The surgeon was efficient. They asked if anyone was with me. I said my partner was on her way. It felt like a lie even as I said it. Time moved strangely. Minutes stretched. I checked my phone too often. An hour before surgery, Claire finally called. Her voice was tight, defensive. She said she couldn't come. I asked why. There was a pause. Then she said it. Ryan had reached out. He was having a breakdown. He needed her. He came first. Not just a day. Always. That's when I understood I had never really been first at all. I didn't argue. I couldn't. My throat closed up and my hands started to shake. I asked her if she understood what she was saying. She told me I was being unfair, that surgery was routine, that Ryan was fragile, that she couldn't abandon someone who had once been family. I listened to her justify it like she was explaining a scheduling conflict, not the moment I needed her most. When the call ended, the room felt smaller. The beeping machine sounded louder. I stared at the ceiling and wondered how long she had been preparing to choose him out loud. A nurse came in to wheel me toward the operating room. She asked if I was ready. I thought about Claire, about Ryan, about the word always, and for the first time since the diagnosis, fear gave way to something colder, heavier, and far more permanent. I woke up in recovery to a ceiling light and a dull ache in my chest. My mouth was dry, my head heavy. But the first thing I noticed was a quiet. No familiar voice. No warm hand. Just a steady beep of machines and the slow realization that I was alone, exactly as I had feared. It felt like confirmation of something I had been avoiding for far too long without admitting it myself. Hours later, after the surgeon explained the procedure went well, I checked my phone. There were messages from co-workers, distant relatives, even a neighbor. From Claire, there was one text sent 2 hours after my surgery. It read, "I hope you're okay. Let me know when you're awake." I stared at it, feeling nothing, surprised by how little pain the message caused me. That scared me more than anger ever could at that moment alone. The following day, she came to the hospital. She looked exhausted, defensive, already prepared for an argument. She started talking before I could. Ryan was unstable. He needed support. She said she knew the timing was bad, but hoped I'd understand. I listened quietly, noticing how she never once asked how I felt. Not during surgery. Not after. Not even standing beside my bed that morning. That absence said everything. She was already gone emotionally. I told her I understood perfectly. That was the problem. I finally saw the pattern I'd ignored. How her phone always came first. How my needs were treated as inconveniences. How love for her meant constant patience for me. I told her I wouldn't compete with her past anymore. She tried to interrupt, but I kept going, voice steady, heart oddly calm. I said this relationship ends here. She stared like she'd misheard me then. Claire cried. She said I was cruel for choosing this moment. I told her she'd chosen it the second she said someone else came first. There was no shouting, no insults, just clarity. She left quietly, the same way she had emotionally months earlier, and I felt something close to relief settle in. Recovery was slow, but my mind felt lighter with every passing day. Friends visited. Life continued without her. That truth surprised me. 3 months later, my chest scar faded, and so did the ache I'd mistaken for love. I heard through mutual friends that Claire and Ryan tried again. It collapsed quickly. I felt no satisfaction, only distance. I learned that choosing yourself isn't dramatic. It's quiet, firm, and irreversible once you see clearly. The surgery saved my heart. Walking away saved my dignity. Some lessons arrive when you're forced to lie still and listen closely inside. I don't hate her. I don't miss her either. What I miss is the version of myself who believed loyalty alone could make someone choose you. I know better now. Love that makes you feel second during your weakest moment isn't love. It's a warning you ignore at your own cost. I survived surgery. I survived abandonment. The second recovery mattered more, because it taught me where to stand when someone walks away from you. The day I was clear to drive again, I took the long route home. Windows down. Air cold. Heart steady. I didn't feel angry or bitter. I felt awake. Some people leave when you need them most. That's not tragedy. That's information. And once you have it, you don't unlearn it. I parked, shut off the engine, and smiled at the quiet. For the first time, it felt earned by choosing myself fully at last. I never heard from Claire again, not directly. I heard echoes through others, softened versions of regret. They didn't move me. Healing taught me that closure doesn't arrive from apologies. It arrives when your body stops bracing for disappointment. When peace replaces waiting, you know you made the right choice. That certainty is something no one can take away. Not an ex, not fear, not even love that forgets you when needed the most important. If I could speak to the man I was before that hospital bed, I'd tell him this. Pay attention to who shows up when nothing is convenient. Don't negotiate for priority. Don't minimize your need for presence. The right person doesn't hesitate. And if they walk away, let them. Your life continues. Stronger, clearer, unburdened by false promises. I learned that lesson under hospital lights. It changed everything, quietly, permanently, for the better after that.